Make this moment count.
Pictures, information, insight you won't find anywhere else. CNN Newsroom with Tony Harris. Anything can happen.
You know, there is a lot of advice out there on how to get rid of your personal debt, but who better to give advice than folks who've actually done it? We call them debt busters. Joining me now on Skype is debt buster Jaime Tardy from Portland, Maine. Jamie, good to see you. Good morning.
Hi. Good morning.
Well, how do you, 70,000 in debt, you know, how do you do that? That's a pretty big number. How did that happen?
Yeah, well, that's a good question. A lot of work. It took us almost 2 years to pay it all off, but it took, by paying off a student loan, I actually had $26,000 in student loan debt, so I was quite average in that, $25,000 in a home equity loan, and $19,000 in a car.
Wow, okay, so now let's do this. I think we prepared a little cover flow here for you. So 70,000 in debt. And how did you get out of it? You got rid of your car?
Yeah, 2 months before we started, we bought a brand new car, which really wasn't the best idea.
Right.
So what we ended up doing was figuring out that the only thing we could do was sell it.
Did you sell
so
it
we
at a
actually
loss?
went to the dealership. Yeah, well, you assume that it would be a ridiculous loss. I thought we were going to lose like $6,000, and we ended up only losing $1,000.
So what did you, so you replaced it with just a cheaper car, or what did you do?
Yep, we replaced it with a cheaper car. It worked just as well, and it got by just fine.
Because what you needed was transportation. You didn't need an old fancy thing. You just needed transportation. Okay, so tell us about selling stuff, right, on Craigslist and eBay?
Yeah, well, first we got on a budget, which really helped to figure out what was going in and what was going out. And then we looked around and realized that we had a lot of stuff.
Right.
Even though you don't assume that you have a lot of stuff, when you start looking around, there's actually a lot to sell. So we ended up, I say, Craigslist and eBay were my best friends.
How did you do? How much did you sell? How much did you get? How much money did you make in selling your stuff?
Well, we had an old CJ7 Jeep that we got like $3,000 or $4,000 for. We sold weight benches, a kayak, a bunch of stuff that just sort of added up.
And you just applied all that to the bills, correct?
Definitely.
Okay. Talk to us in a little more detail about the budgeting process and going through all your expenses from week to week and month to month.
Yeah, I actually write about it at eventualmillionaire.com, which is my website. I talk about how to create a spending plan, what to put on it, how to try and cut each category, and what you can do to try and make your expenses last each month.
I think we've got another one here. Your groceries, $300 a month, that's what you allocated?
Yeah, when we first started, we were trying to be really bad and
What is that, rice and beans and beans and rice? What is that?
Yeah, exactly. Well, I didn't realize how hard it would be.
Yeah.
But what we ended up doing was trying to add it up in the grocery store. So me and my husband made a game of it to try and add it up in our heads to see who would win, to see who would get closer to $300.
More easy or difficult for you to cut out the cable than your husband? Was it easier for you to get rid of it, or for your husband to say, okay, honey, we can get rid of the cable?
The cable, it was a mutual decision, though I did work for the cable industry, so it probably wasn't good for my job. We have a plasma TV now, and it still has bunny ears on it.
Terrific. Hey, Jamie, well done. For you and your husband.
Thanks.
That's terrific discipline, huh? What's the site again?
Yeah. It's eventualmillionaire.com.
Eventual Millionaire. That's positive thinking. Way to go. Our best to you and our best to your husband. Thanks for your time.
Great. At Progressive, you can compare rates